Okay, well, welcome and thank you for this wonderful turnout. So I will be presenting a new project. So it's very preliminary, and I look for collaboration and anyone who is interested in this subject, please reach out to me. So in line with Cecilia's interest in sustainable development. So I'm a comparative political economist, so I've been long interested in state in industrial policy, state's role in the economic transformation. So this new project, I look at the variety of state intervention and using the electric vehicles industry in China, Japan, and India as an example. And we know that in the States, just last year, we passed this unprecedented oversized Inflation Reduction Act. And there will be a lot more in Europe coming, and Japan, India. So basically, this is a big ongoing trend. The states is using resources and efforts and policy power to promote this, this transition, which is all good. So this paper, I really want to be more critical and compare whether industrial policy and state intervention actually are more accidental in China in particular, rather than the perception that it was a top-down cohesive pattern. But let me start with this figure showing that the electric vehicles sale in China, Japan, and India in the last 10, 12, 11 years. This is really major shift, right? So EV, new trends, and all of them only started after 2010, but the Chinese rise was really remarkable. Right? They only had a very limited beginning in 2014, and then the jump was just enormous. So basically, by 2021, China has become the largest predominant seller, producer, and exporter of electric vehicles in the world. Right? So how this happens, I think the common perception is that is the state investments or intervention. And so the Chinese success kind of led to the global trend of industrial policy and state intervention. But as my co-author and I, we study China's EV industries, and we find that it's a rather competition conducive, right? So it was private players in the lead mainly, and then the policy intervention was in the lag and often ineffective, right? So more details, I'm happy to talk about them with food. And then Japan. So Japan had the earliest state policy to transition toward cleaner vehicles. But it's also very effective. So the one thing people think Japan is a failing case, but its state actually is very, very effective, cohesive, effective, mobilizing different coalitions, industries, governments, and they make a very good strategic plan. But due to political and energy accidents, really, so they opted on the hydrogen, right? So it's again very accidental pathway that Japan took. So it's not really good or bad industrial policy. Good industrial policy, nevertheless, right? Japan's EV became totally, stagnated. India is very promising. India's EV industry starts later. But so far, again, my Indian case is really preliminary. So I saw they have a lot of promise based on the state's policy, very proactive policy, the federal level policy, as well as local level policies. But they, once they achieve certain success, we begin to see protectionist lobbying and policy trends at the local level and led by the business associations. So I gave it a lot of question mark, right? So how India can achieve its promise in doing industrial policy while not being derailed by protectionism. And so this is open question. Okay, thank you.